Happy New Year, which is a weird thing to say. Welcome to 2022. This is especially strange because I feel like just the other day was 2019. So here we are time traveling to 2022 and welcome to the future. What I wanted to do today was kind of put a little mini I don't even know what the word is that I'm looking for. A recap before the recap. So MLS hasn't reviewed or sent out the recap for all of the statistics for the year of 2021 yet. But I can update you on where we left off in 2021. That way we'll have a pretty good idea, minus about a month worth of data on where we ended. So 2021, historic year for sales. Based off of the average price point, this was our largest year of volume here in the greater Phoenix metro, which basically just means price points have increased, which should be no surprise to you if you've been tuning along for any period of time. We have been covering the increases in price point. Now, we'll have the exact numbers here shortly, but based off of how things have been trending, my guess is about 20% year over year appreciation. Where I want you to be kind of listening and paying attention to how the media will portray the next year is going to be the difference in appreciation from last year to this year. So if last year ends somewhere in the 20 to 25% range, and if predictions hold true, there's a lot of data that various organizations produce based off of their expected price appreciation as far as real estate is concerned. Now, each entity that produces a number doesn't come up with them lightly. They're very well researched, and while they certainly can change, right? No one would have predicted the last 2 years of appreciation. It does give us some insight into things that they see that are changing. The average amount from about 6 different sources, average those together, predictions are about 5.5, 5.7% appreciation. So if we go from 20 to 25% appreciation to 5 to 6% appreciation, how that will sound when re-articulated is that appreciation is down 20% year over year, right? We go from 2025 to 5, and that gap of 20% will be what people are talking about. When I say people, I usually mean the media, right? Because that's the conversation. That's clickbait, right? It makes people want to read about it. But if they don't read about it, then they won't understand that really what the media should be telling us this year, assuming that it's anything short of that 20 to 25% range we had last year, we're going to hear about appreciation being down. When those numbers are produced, what they're talking about is just down from what it was. So let's fast forward to what the predictions are for this year. If that 5 to 6% range holds true, then the question will be, well, is that good or not? An annual price appreciation over historic data runs about 100, 120 years. Over those 100 to 120 years, we see that a normal appreciation year is about 4%. So 5 to 6%, to answer the very general question, would be good. That is a good year. It's also a more healthy, normal year. 20, 25% is not duplicatable year after year after year. And as a homeowner, while I would love for those numbers to continue at drastic rates, it's also not good for the economy. So you might have seen a video that I did talking about the Feds announcing their interest rate hikes in 2022. We all knew that they would do at least one hike, but they announced 3 is what we're projecting for right now. And what that means is the Federal Reserve is trying to correct the inflation that we're seeing right now. Now, while the Federal Reserve's interest rate increases don't directly tie to mortgages, they are a piece of the puzzle. Mortgage interest rates are formulated with a lot of different factors in mind, the Federal Reserve being one of them, but also price appreciation, unemployment rates, inflation, all of those things take into consideration. And so while they're not directly correlated, they likely will be connected, and we should see interest rates increase. All of that to be said is that what's happening right now is there's an attempt to correct all of the changes that have been happening over the last 2 years, or maybe not correct isn't probably the right word, but make sure that they don't go too far the wrong way. Inflation sounds cool when you start to see different things go up in price, but if like the value of your house. But inflation is terrible when you also consider that you have to make more money to then pay for those things. And if employers don't keep up with inflation, blah, 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 their prices go up, costs go up in general. That's inflation. So all of this to say, 5 to 6% appreciation for real estate would be normal, healthy, good. But how it will sound when reported is that appreciation is down from the astronomical numbers that we had last year. That's okay. What we don't want to see, you only don't want to see it when you're selling, but what we want to be aware of is deflation. Now, no one right now is predicting values to go down for houses, right? If the average Phoenix house is $415, we don't want to see it become $400. But if it goes from $415 to $425, that's a-okay. And so that's where we're at. 2021 was a year of rapid growth. We continued what we had built off of 2021, and now it will likely slow down. Those are all the good things. What's the bad news in all of this story? As interest rates increase, which I don't have a crystal ball, I don't know exactly when that will be, if it's early 2022, late 2022, somewhere in the middle, right? We don't have a crystal ball, but as interest rates increase, affordability will decrease. Interest rates are actually a greater tie to your monthly payment than price is. For example, for every 1% interest rates increase, the market would have to decrease by 10% in order just to stay even. So if interest rates go from the low 3s to the high 3s, that means you're looking at a house that costs 10% less just to keep your mortgage payment the same. Now, with that being said, I know when in the late 80s, when my mom started in real estate, mid 80s, interest rates were 16, 17, 18%. So even if we go from 3 to 4%, it's not really a big deal. But the difference is houses cost a lot more now than they did then. So it will greatly impact affordability. And what that means is if 2022 is a year that you're thinking about doing something, best not to sit on your hands. And I said that same thing just last year and the year before as we were seeing prices increase. So if it's something you're thinking about and actually wanting to do, not because you feel like you should, right? If you want a bigger house or you want to get out of renting or whatever the case is, that's why we choose to buy. And then we time buying after the why based off of what makes sense for you. So if there's any questions, please feel free to let me know. I know this is a little bit long, but to recap, what we're seeing is 2021 had huge appreciation. That's great. 2022 will be unlikely to maintain that same appreciation because it's not healthy. And so while we expect prices to slow down, we certainly don't expect anything to depreciate. We're still in a very strong, stable real estate market, and I'm excited to see what this year brings. Happy New Year from me to you. Bye-bye.